You can see right here. Do we have those pictures now? Can we have a look here? There's some pictures that we don't have them, so we'll stay on this shot. But what we could see in those pictures is a car that had collided with one of those Customs and Border Patrol booths, and there was a fire after the car exploded. There they are. Those are the pictures there. You can see that this vehicle likely was going at an intense speed into that booth as it caused this type of destruction there. It's unclear how many people were involved in that car. We don't know how many Customs and Border Patrol agents might have been involved in this as well. The FBI is at the scene right now, as we saw in those previous pictures. Law enforcement also placing K-9 officers at each of the international bridges in the area as a precautionary measure. That's according to some law enforcement sources. Now, the vehicle reportedly entered, as I mentioned, from Canada into the United States. All western New York bridge crossings into the U.S. now shut down as well. The Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services in the Erie County is looking into this situation as well. New York Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney wrote this on X, formerly Twitter. "We are praying for the safety of Customs and Border Patrol and the first responders answering the calls for help." The FBI is also investigating this as well, as I mentioned. We clearly don't know what the seriousness of this is at this point, but anytime you see something of this nature, anytime at a border crossing like this, they're going to put all hands on deck, emergency crews trying to investigate, closing down the area, shutting off all access in that port so that nobody can go across the border as they continue to figure out what exactly happened here. As I mentioned, still monitoring the situation, details coming in drips. We do know that the New York Governor, Kathy Hochul, has also been updated on the situation. She's been monitoring what's happening as well. We'll stay on this, Bianca, and as more information comes in, we'll get back on the air and let you know anything we know. Back to you.
Yeah, and you know, clearly when you look at these pictures, someone knew they were going through a checkpoint there, and obviously the FBI is on the scene. They're going to be able to obviously assess some of this. The vehicle, again, if people are joining us, going in from Canada into the United States. We've also learned just moments ago, John, that Kathy Hochul says she is actually traveling to Buffalo. We know she's from the area, so don't know if she's doing this because of this or if she was going there to see family, but she says they are working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force now to monitor all points of entry into New York. So when you're looking at the situation here, we have the crossing, folks. If you're just joining us, we're following breaking news here on Newsline. Niagara Falls, New York, FBI on the scene. The border crossing from Canada into the United States, a car has exploded there. And also, John, there's talk now from folks on the ground in Buffalo and the Fort Erie Public Bridge Authority saying that they have shut down all 4 of Canadian bridges and U.S. bridges over the Niagara River. This is also an area where people may be going the day before. A lot of tourists go to Niagara Falls. Yeah. And there's also been concern in the coming days about New York possibly being a threat and under a threat from lone wolves. We don't know if this is just an isolated incident. Again, you don't want to speculate. We don't know. It could also just be one person who's having, you know, a psychotic episode, or it could be something much more scary and much more planned.
That's exactly right. I mean, to be clear, we don't know if this is a terrorist attack. We do not know if this was a medical issue of a driver that maybe lost control. And these are all things that they're going to have to look at. They're going to be looking at all kinds of surveillance footage leading up to that border crossing. They're going to be looking at the surveillance footage at that border crossing. They'll be bringing in all kinds of different witness testimony that might have seen what happened. But it looks to me, if you're looking at this, they said it's a vehicle, but to me it looks like a car that had crashed into that booth. But given how much that car, what's left of that car, Bianca, that car had to be going at a pretty fast speed, you would think.
Yeah, and obviously the other thing is people are manning these booths. There is some reports from some local affiliates here that we have not independently confirmed, but saying that at least one person has been injured. There's reports that a 27-year-old man was taken with minor injuries. Not severe, which is fortunate, but we know that this is a busy border crossing here. I mean, you're going from Canada, you're going into the United States, and there's been a lot of concerns about our southern border, but also, John, there's been a lot of concerns about our northern border as well, and the fact that this administration clearly has not taken the border as seriously in the north or the south here until, well, the polls started slipping for Joe Biden. Again, and we just want to remind folks, if you're just tuning in, the breaking news right now is all international traffic halted at the New York border. Governor Kathy Hochul will be going there because of a car that has exploded. John, and also we're hearing this could be just out of an abundance of caution, but maybe they're also taking it so seriously with the FBI on the scene, they're going to monitor now Buffalo Airport and the rail system as well.